Before you hear another word about lost civilizations, I need to tell you about the one they don't want you to know, the one that had flushing toilets when Europe was drowning in its own filth. This is Gedi. To the world, just ruins in a Kenyan forest, but to those who listen, this is a testament to a forgotten African brilliance. While 13th century London was a maze of mud and open sewers, the Swahili coast was building a Manhattan of stone. Architects, engineers, innovators, our people. So why did we stop telling this story? And here's what keeps me awake at night. In the 17th century, the people of Gedi just left. No signs of battle, no records of disease, just thousands of people who walked away from wealth, from sophistication, from home. Where did they go, and what did they know that we don't? To understand why they left, we first need to understand what they built. Because Gedi wasn't just advanced for Africa, it was advanced for the world. Let me show you what I mean. Let's talk about toilets. Yeah, I said it. Toilets. Because while this might sound mundane, it's actually revolutionary. Gedi had indoor flushing toilets, not outhouses, not holes in the ground. Actual engineered plumbing with drainage systems that carried waste away from living spaces. We're talking about the 1300s. Do you understand what that means? Isaac Newton wasn't even born yet. The Renaissance hadn't started. And here, on the Swahili coast, people were flushing toilets. But it gets better. Gedi's engineers dug wells 50 meters deep, that's a 16-story building, into solid ground, by hand. And they didn't just dig, they filtered. They understood aquifers, water tables, purification through layers of earth. They ensured their people never went thirsty, even in drought. This wasn't survival. This was mastery. This was a people thinking not just years ahead, but generations ahead. Walk these ruins with me. Touch these walls, this coral rag and lime mortar. It's the same material that built Venice, the same techniques that created the great mosques of Persia. But our ancestors developed it independently, perfecting it for this coastal climate. These walls have stood for 700 years. Through monsoons, through earthquakes, through time itself. The great mosque of Gedi had a mihrab, prayer niche, so precisely aligned to Mecca that even today, with GPS, we can confirm its accuracy, precision, purpose, prayer. Our ancestors built with all three. But engineering alone doesn't explain Gedi's wealth. Because buried in this soil, scattered among these stones, are fragments from the other side of the world. Let me show you how far our ancestors reached. Look at this. Ming Dynasty porcelain from China. Delicate, expensive, traveled 8,000 kilometers to end up here in a Kenyan palace. Venetian glass beads from Italy, the same glass that decorated European royalty. Persian coins, Indian iron, Arabian textiles. This wasn't trade. This was a global network, and Gedi was the hub. Our ancestors weren't waiting for the world to discover them. They were the world. See, this is what they don't teach. When they talk about the age of exploration, they mean when Europe started exploring. But our ancestors, they'd been exploring for centuries. Gedi's people spoke multiple languages. Kiswahili, yes, but also Arabic, Persian, probably Chinese dialects. They understood currencies, conversion rates, international law. They weren't primitive. They were cosmopolitan. They were the original globalists. But here's the thing about wealth. Here's the thing about power. It's temporary. And somewhere, deep in the stones of Gedi, our ancestors knew this. Let me invite someone who understands this better than I ever could.
Mjukuu wangu. You look at these stones and you see walls. But I see spirits. I see the ones who came before, who knew things we have forgotten. Our ancestors did not build only for gold, child. They built in harmony with the wind, with the water, with the earth that holds us all. But wealth? Wealth is a guest. It visits for a day and leaves when the respect is gone. Gedi did not fall to a sword. It fell to a silence. When the water turned bitter, when the spirits grew restless, the old ones knew. They knew it was time to let the jungle take it back. These stones still remember Mjuku, and the silence here, it listens.
The elders speak of things we've lost the language for. Spiritual ecology, knowing when to let go. But history offers more concrete theories too, and they're just as haunting. So, what happened? Historians have theories. Some say it was the Oromo migrations, warrior pastoralists moving south, disrupting trade routes. Others point to the Portuguese, whose cannon shattered the Swahili monopoly on Indian Ocean trade. Maybe the wells ran dry. Maybe disease crept in silently. Maybe it was all of these things at once, a perfect storm that our ancestors saw coming. Or maybe Bibi is right. Maybe they simply knew when it was time to leave, to preserve what mattered and walk away from what didn't. Can you imagine that kind of wisdom? To walk away from wealth, for survival, for dignity? Today, those baobab trees stand as sentinels. They've watched centuries pass. They've seen Gedi transform from thriving city to silent mystery. But here's what Gedi teaches us. We have always been innovators. We have always been engineers. We have always been connected to the world. These stories weren't lost. They were just waiting for us to come back, to listen, to remember. And that's what JuaLani Chronicles is here to do. So hit that subscribe button, because our history isn't buried in these ruins. It's alive, it's vibrant, and it's ours to reclaim. Next week, we're exploring another mystery, the Zimbabwe birds and the empire that carved them. You won't want to miss it. Until then, remember, hadithi haiishi kwa kuandikwa tu, inaishi kwa kusimuliwa. A story doesn't live by being written alone. It lives by being told. And we're just getting started.